I feel at this point right now, until somebody changes my mind and proves my point, that David Benavidez, along with a few others I can name, like Terrence Crawford and Devin Haney, but David Benavidez specifically, and the reason specifically is because he's over 168. From 168 and up, I don't have a lot of candidates I can really point to under 30 years old. I do, but David Benavidez is the leading candidate right now. A lot of respect for David Morrell. I think David Morrell, to be honest with you, David Morrell isn't one of my favorite fighters right now. But I feel like as each day goes by, he's one of my favorite fighters. And I'm starting to realize why a lot of people respect David Morrell and what he brings to the table. Gotta understand, it's hundreds and it's even thousands at this point of boxers. And for Morrell to get in the ring with Benavidez at this point, that's a huge deal. If Benavidez hasn't fought most people, he's sparred him. He's fought or sparred most people. If he hasn't, I don't know why they haven't, but he's got in the ring with Bivol. So he's been trying to get better 4 or 5 years before people even mention him and Canelo together. And I told people in the past, Canelo and Benavidez was not going to happen because at certain points, man, you just don't want to. He's not in the plans. People are still doing in-house fights. And we're arguing about what people deserve. But with David Benavidez being the only option for the top fighters right now, like David Morrell's not running towards Canelo. He's running towards Benavidez. It seemed like when people told Benavidez, hey, you need to fight somebody else in your own weight class, go up a weight class, you're too big. It seems like David Morrell said, if they're saying that about David Benavidez and he has a good record and resume like he does, there's no way I can get a Canelo fight. I've been a mandatory too. So me and Benavidez been a mandatory. And I think that David Morrell and Benavidez can be a situation where their fight could possibly be better than Triple G versus Canelo. All three of the fights put together. This one fight could be better than all that. And people will say, nah, you're over-exaggerating. Okay. If I had to ask you a question, would you say that the Morrell fight, would you say that the Benavidez and Bivol fight is bigger than the Morrell and, well, not the Morrell, but the Benavidez and Bivol fight is bigger than Triple G versus Canelo? I think as far as impact and the talks around it and the skill level, yeah, it was a better fight. And they both had no knockdowns in it, so I don't think knockdowns would make a big difference. But they made it a lot possible in these fights. And in my eyes, man, David Benavidez is the top guy right now. That's the guy everybody wants to go to get a top fight. If you don't go to Benavidez to get a top fight, you're going to have to earn a fight somewhere else and all this other stuff. And a lot of fans, they don't really expect Benavidez to make people earn a fight the way that other guys are making people earn a fight. And for him to be a champion, a former champion, lineal champion, and to be disrespected the way he has and overlooked, I feel like at this time right now, things need to be looked at. But Benavidez is going to have a good career, whether it's with Canelo on his resume or not. But the boxing industry right now, I feel like they're making this situation hard on Benavidez. Every time he gets close to undisputed, further and further it goes away. I might do an episode tomorrow. It might be tonight. But I think Undisputed is becoming a joke. I really do. I think Undisputed needs to come to an end this year. And I'm not saying that because I want all the guys in the future champions. I don't want them to be undisputed because then they'll try to pass Terrence. Nah, none of that stuff. I don't want it to be possible because it's becoming artificial. We're not going through the rankings and the mandatory like we're supposed to. We're just pushing guys in position that we feel like deserves a spot. If everybody is picking opponents based on what they feel like they deserve, then what's the point of the mandatories if we're just picking who people feel like they deserve to fight? And a lot of fans who were okay with the Munguia and Berlanga situation in the future. Let's see who ends up fighting Benavidez or Morrell first. Because I know Munguia and Berlanga not going to be at 168 forever. So let's see who fights Benavidez or Morrell first at that situation. Because the guy who loses that fight is going to be sought after. Not from the guys at 168, but eventually those guys at 168 are going to want to go to 175. So let's see who fight those guys first. It looks like a stretch right now. It looks like a stretch. It's going to be tough to get a lot of these guys in the ring. I'm being honest with you. A lot of people look at it as, oh, it'll be easy. It's going to be tough to get these guys in the ring. But Benavidez is the top fight right now. So I don't know why fans are looking elsewhere like, hey, we should do this and that. Whoever you're thinking about, from the Lacies and Glacies to the guys at 168 and Billy, if they don't get a chance, everybody's not going to fight Canelo. So if they don't get a chance to fight Canelo and they want to have a pay-per-view fight or a big name or fight a guy who's proven and who's fought everybody like Caleb Plant and everything and Demetrius Andrade and David Morrell, Benavidez is going to be the guy. After Benavidez beats David Morrell, or if he beats David Morrell, he's going to be close to top 5 pound for pound. He's going to be top 5 pound for pound. And people will say, well, oh, David Morrell only has this many fights. I ain't tell y'all to beg Benavidez to fight a guy with that many fights. I already made my case. Nobody had an issue when I brought it up about Morrell and got that many fights. So when I stick Benavidez on pound for pound, I don't want nobody to have no problem with it. I don't want to have no problem with it. I just got to do that pound for pound stuff sometimes to make a point as of, like, a lot of people think David Benavidez don't deserve it over these other guys. And you fighting at 75 right now? No way. Morrell knows that Benavidez is the big fight. To be honest with you, Morrell, even though Benavidez went over there and made that fight happen, Benavidez knows a lot of people that would have been in Morrell's spot that wouldn't have took the fight. So you got to give him respect for that. But he knows that Benavidez is the big fight now. He knows, like, man, I can get more credit for being Benavidez than I can Canelo right now. Canelo ain't trying to fight. I can get more credit doing that.